BCAAs are something that's good to have while you're working out. My arms are finally not long enough for something.
I know, right? What up, everybody? This is Rachel, Paul, and we're gonna go over supplements for you guys that we take that are great.
If you didn't know, we're both vegan, so all these supplements are vegan friendly. Even if you're not vegan, they're still good options. You can either find them online. A couple we found in stores like at Whole Foods. So it kind of just depends on what you've got time for, if you have time to go to the store and all that. So.
Yep, and these are just basic supplements that you guys who are vegan should definitely be taking to help your performance in the gym.
So what should we start with first?
So the first thing, I know that you can read this, is the vegan multivitamin.
Well, pull it back a little bit.
There you go, there you go. I get that at Whole Foods. You don't have to have multivitamin, but it's very helpful. I would say that's a good thing to take, especially when you're in a deficit. That way you can at least get all the nutrients that you might be either not getting enough of or missing. So, omega-3s, plant-based. Okay, so omega-3s for vegans will just be EPA and DHA, and those are the more important ones that you need. I recommend supplementing omega-3 because it's really hard to absorb the actual omega-3s from chia seed, flax seeds, and stuff like that, unless you're eating a lot every day, very often. It can be before any meal. As long as there's a little bit of fat source in the meal, then it'll just absorb easier. So definitely use that before any meal, probably breakfast or lunch.
Or dinner.
Maybe dinner.
And that one you said you got at Whole Foods, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So both of those, the multivitamin and the omega-3, I get at Whole Foods just because it's the closest source and I can get it right away. Instant gratification type thing. Instead of
Which is
waiting.
always important.
Yeah. Creatine monohydrate Gero Formulas brand. With the Gero's brand, it's actually very a really reputable brand. I like a lot of their supplement stuff. Like they have a good B complex, which is great to do a B complex instead of just B12, so that everything works in concert together. But I recommend creatine monohydrate because it's the most studied. And I recommend this brand because it's also got 6 grams of creatine per serving instead of the usual 3 to 5. And because I don't eat red meat, or as you're a vegan, you don't eat any meat or red meat, you're not getting creatine through that. So they usually recommend 3 to 5 grams of creatine when you're working out, unless you decide to do a loading phase or a saturation, where you take 25 grams for about 4 days and then you go down to 3 for a few days, 2 days or so, and then you can stabilize at 5. What I did was I just stabilized at 5 the whole time.
That's what I did.
Yeah, and it will definitely prevent gastrointestinal distress because too much creatine can cause gastrointestinal distress.
And usually creatine's not that expensive either.
No, not at all.
A lot of supplements that people might say you need are usually either really expensive or they're not really necessary. So a lot of these are very reasonable as far as price. They're not too expensive, and creatine is super, super cheap. I've seen it like on Amazon. You can get it like GNC and stuff like that, but it's super, super cheap.
Yeah, I get the Gero's brand off of Amazon, and there's 100 servings on there, and it lasts me a long time. I definitely recommend that, especially I recommend it when you're trying to build muscle and strength because it has shown to improve your strength by about 33%. Also, it stores a lot of the water inside of your muscle. So if people feel like they're bloating, don't worry. Either cut back on your creatine or just kind of give yourself a break for a second and go down to 3 to 5. But don't be really worried because it's stored in the muscle, which is great. So usually I take it in the morning just to keep my muscle saturated for the workout, because in my head, in theory, you utilize ATP for contraction and you need a creatine phosphate to get back to recreate your ATP. So if it's readily available already, I feel like that process would be faster than taking it afterwards, in which case you're trying to replenish your creatine. Why not have it available for your workout? So saturate the muscle. It could be in the morning or before your workout, and I would take it with something that kind of spikes your insulin, so fruit or berries or gummy worms.
Science.
Yes.
These are the, which brand are these again?
This is NutraBio.
Okay, these are newer to me. He started taking these and recommended I started taking them. Before I was using the Extend brand or whatever, but these are good. There's 60 servings in here. I usually just do 1 scoop when I work out. I usually sip on it throughout my workout or right before.
I like this one too because it's the fermented one, and it's specifically for vegans, and it blends really well. All the other ones usually feel like I'm literally drinking red dye.
It's like really chalky.
Yeah, and it tastes like crap. This actually is better, and it's unsweetened, I think. So you're taking it before, like right before you work out or during your workout, because the BCAAs will help prolong your set, basically. Also, if you're low on protein, it's a good, not replacement, but if you are in between meals or if you're in a caloric deficit, it can help prevent a little bit of losing muscle.
And this one you can get on Amazon, and it wasn't that expensive either. It was
It's like $30.
Yeah, it's cheap, and you get basically, like, if you do a scoop a day and you work out 5 or 6 days a week, even 7, it gives you 2 months of the BCAAs. So the last supplement that we'll cover is protein.
Yeah, so come on, there we go. The MRM Veggie Elite Performance Protein, 24 grams of protein, and it's a mix between rice and pea protein. Obviously you can use this after your workout. I usually take 2 scoops to give myself about 48 grams of protein, which is really high, but on the heavier days, like any kind of compounds or like chest, back, or legs day, I'll definitely take 2 scoops. You're probably not going to utilize every little bit of that, but at least it gives my muscles like a saturation of protein to use.
And this protein powder has all your essential amino acids. This one, I think this is your favorite, is the chocolate mocha flavor. I've also had the vanilla one. Sometimes I'd put the vanilla one, like if I was doing oats or something like that, I put that in there. But this is good enough that I've just mixed it with water before and it tastes fine. Sometimes with, again, protein powders, they can be super gritty or not mix very well and get really clumpy, or they taste terrible if you're drinking them with just water. But that one's really good, like just with water. And again, you can get that on Amazon.
If you're trying to stay away from soy, I feel like this doesn't really have too much soy in it, or
I don't think it has soy in it at all.
Okay, so to wrap it up, I'm just gonna kind of give my rating of everything that I've had so far, and then stuff that she's had, she can definitely give a rating as well. So for the vegan multivitamin from Whole Foods, I'm gonna give it a 9 for effectiveness. You never had it before, right? Oh. The omega-3 plant-based EPA DHA supplement, I'm going to give it a 9 or a 10 for price, because it is a very good price. So this one specifically, just for like effectiveness and what I think, I'll probably give it like a 7.8 to an 8.4.
That's awfully specific.
Yeah, you gotta be specific here.
Okay. It's pretty decent.
Yeah, I mean, I'd recommend it, but it's not my first choice.
And one thing really quickly too, before we move on to some of the other ones, is a lot of times with supplements, especially if they're capsules or tablets, usually the bottle will tell you if it's vegan, vegetarian, it'll specify. A lot of times with, like, especially gel capsules, they're usually made out of gelatin, which is like melted animal bones and ligaments and stuff like that. So when they make supplements for like vegetarians and vegans, they usually make the gel capsules out of like vegetable glycerin or something. So it has no animal products in it at all. A lot of times with powders, they're usually vegan unless they're like whey protein or something like that. But if you're looking for capsules or like usually gummies, anything that has that like gel texture is gonna have gelatin in it. So that's the ingredient that you want to avoid if you're trying to find a vegan supplement. So just keep that in mind. All right, so we're doing the creatine monohydrate next.
All right, so with this creatine, I give this a 10 all around, and yeah, I know, right? I think it's like $33 or so for the whole thing, and it's like I said, 6 grams instead of 5. That's what you would usually get. And it's got 100 servings of fermented vegan BCAAs. For this brand, for the brand itself, and for this, I'm gonna give this a 8.8 to about a 9.2 because it mixes really well. It's not very chemical tasting at all, and it tastes like lemonade. I mean, I can down it obviously, and it's not dreadful. And it's just vegan, non-GMO, BSE, TSE free, so it's like got a lot of banned substance free stuff, so that's good. And for the price, for the 60 servings, overall, I think with the price and the product itself, I'd give it about a 9.6, 9.8. There's still something about drinking BCAAs that I don't like.
The first time I tried this one, I kind of like choked a little bit because, like I said before, I was using the Extend brand or whatever, and I will say this one is not as sweet as that one. I really haven't had a ton of different BCAAs before. I've had the other ones and then these, and this one, I'm not gonna lie, I'm not a fan of the flavor. I didn't see any other ones when I went to go order it online, so I guess this is the only one that they have, but I was not a huge fan of the flavor of it. I still kind of gag a little bit every time I drink it, but it does a job. It's, you know, it's fine. I'd probably give it like a 7-ish as far as like the taste.
So the last thing is the protein, the Veggie Elite MRM protein. So I give this a 10 out of 10 again. Overall, the price is great. You can find it for under $30 for the 28 servings on Amazon. Every now and then it'll fluctuate about 32 or so. But like mixing it is easy. The taste is great, and the fact that it's cheap is awesome. And it's like rice and pea protein. So overall, I always recommend this to everybody if you're looking for a plant-based protein, because like I said, Vega is super expensive. Vivo is super expensive. And then there's a lot of other brands that are just clumpy or don't taste very well, that might not be that expensive. But overall, this is, I think, one of the best tasting, mixing, and price-wise vegan proteins.
I agree. I like this one. I would give it a 10 out of 10. I've tried a couple different ones, but that one's definitely been my favorite out of everything I've tried, so I agree. 10 out of 10.
Alright, so that is it, guys. Let us know what you think about the vegan protein and all the other supplements if you do try them, and make sure to leave a comment, subscribe to her channel.
Yours.
Yeah, you can go to my website at theburnacademy.com or follow me on Insta at TheBurnAcademy, or at Burn Academy, not the.
don't put the. You're not gonna find it. We're supposed to flex at the end.
Oh, no.
I didn't get the memo.